In this lecture, we'll be discussing e-governance and surveillance society. So what is e-governance? It is nothing but electronic governance. We know that the government has certain roles to play in every society, and it varies with each society as well. But if we talk about the primary functions of any government, it revolves around safekeeping the rights of the citizens, providing them with information, keeping them safe, maintaining law and order, etc. So, what happens in the case of electronic governance is that there is a use of information and technology. Why is it used? It is used because of the various needs of the society today. So, it is an innovative and an efficient way of governance. It is quick, it cuts time and it cuts cost also, and it provides for easy access. We know that internet is one thing that is easily available to different people wherever they are, regardless of whatever the situation be, because most of the people today know how to use internet and they can make use of the internet services or the e-services very efficiently because it is easy and simple. It is also, there is an ease of using it. Why? It is always more easy to stand in lines to pay bills or to do it on your own phone. Of course, it is easier to do it on your phone because you're doing it electronically at the comfort of your own home. Therefore, e-governance is also something that calls for transparency, accountability, and exchange of services and exchange of ideas. Another very important point here is it is present at all levels, whether it is the local government or the central or state government. So why e-governance? Why? Because the use of information and technology can be to address the needs of the society, because the contemporary society has various needs, and to tackle those needs the government also has to go contemporary. It has to match with the changing society. The government publishes various policies and programs related to the information that is useful for the citizens, and it is easier to look through, to go through those policies and those programs when they are available electronically. The use of information and technology can also be very helpful for the planning and development of the society. It helps in combating red tapism, it increases transparency, it provides e-services like online payment. Therefore, it is an easy and quicker method of governance. Now, in a democratic country like ours, India, e-governance is very important. Why? Because it lays emphasis on three major things, that is transparency, accountability of the government, and participation of the people. And only after these things the true democracy comes out. To improve transparency and accountability, there is an online disclosure of what? Of various policies, programs, and a window for online grievance redressal, e-referendums, etc. So when the things are getting done electronically, it is always quicker. You know how easy it is these days to just go on Twitter, file a complaint, write a tweet, and your query gets resolved very quickly. Why? This is the power of internet. This is how easy it is to lodge your complaint and get it answered. Unlike older times when we used to write letters and wait for days or months to get government work done. Now, here is the origin of e-governance, how it all actually started. It started with the Department of Electronics, which was established in 1970, followed by the establishment of NIC or National Informatics Center, which was established in 1977, followed by the National Satellite-Based Computer Network, which was a landmark in e-governance, NICNET, launched in 1987. Now, here are some types of interaction in e-governance. So, what happens is e-governance is not solely for the citizens of a country. What happens, there is an interaction in e-governance where the interaction can be between government to government, that is between the state, interstate governments, or with the state and central government, government to citizen, government to business, that is there are so many businesses involved and the government has a role to play in those businesses also because we have a mixed economy. The market does not have a free hand. Therefore, the government regulations stand for them and they have to follow it. Thus, there is an interaction between government and the business organizations also. And lastly, government to employees. The employees of the government, they have certain rules and regulations and protocol that has to be followed, and the interaction in the form of e-governance takes place. One of the examples that we can discuss under e-governance is e-courts. E-courts was launched by the Department of Justice, Ministry of Law and Justice. So together they launched the e-courts where there is use of technology and information which provides for efficient judicial services to citizens. You know, even today the courts have this option where they can proceed with the hearing and proceed with the trial electronically, and the people can also watch them. Another important process or another important benefit under e-courts or under the e-governance is that the freedom or the privilege, you can say, to record your statements electronically if you do not want to give it in front of everybody. So these are some of the various advantages that are involved under e-governance. Moving ahead, we have Digital India also under e-governance, which aims to reduce the digital divide. Now, what is this digital divide? We know that there are a lot of people living in remote areas, living in villages, who may or may not have access to internet, who may or may not know how the internet works. So, in order to reduce this digital divide, and so that more and more people can make use or take the advantage of Digital India initiative and e-governance, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology launched Digital India, which calls for digital infrastructure, that is putting up of Wi-Fi and distribution of mobile phones. So this governance is based on services that are on demand of the people. So what happens? This gives a kind of sense of digital empowerment to the citizens. We just discussed how tweeting your complaint gives you a sense of empowerment that you will be heard, that your query will be solved. This is how Digital India also works. Some other initiatives under Digital India is DigiLocker, where you can store and share your documents very safe and securely. E-hospitals, where you are, capable of making OPD appointments with government hospitals. You can access the lab reports, and medical record management is also there. These are some of the facilities that you can enjoy at the comfort of your home in your own mobile phones. Now, what are the outcomes of e-governance? How does it actually help the economy, the society, and the citizens? So, there's an increased reach of governance. There's easy access, easy reach. Government feels like, yes, we can be heard. It also improves administration as a result. There is economic development, improved service delivery. This service which is delivered, it is of a good quality. There is transparency and accountability, and thus the people feel empowered because they have access to information and access to governance also. Coming to some of the challenges which are involved with e-governance, first is the lack of basic infrastructural facilities. Like what? Like electricity, internet, because we just discussed how remote areas and rural areas may not have such facilities. The costs of projects which are involved in such e-governance or digital initiatives are very high, and they call for public expenditure on a vast scale. There's a threat of data, privacy and security. There's a big digital divide also, that is, there's a huge gap between users and the people who are non-users of e-government services. So these are some of the challenges which the government has to come through. Coming to surveillance society. Now, if you remember, we have already discussed in Michel Foucault, where he has discussed about panopticon society. He says that society is under constant observation or surveillance. Why is the society under constant observation? So that there is fear under, in the people, that if I am going to do something wrong, I am going to be punished. It is very important that people have this fear that they are being watched. Only then there will be some kind of social order and control in the society. The surveillance society or panopticon, as Foucault said, talks about how even when the people do not know, they are being controlled and monitored. A basic example can be CCTVs. In modern times, what happens is the harsh punishments and tortures which were there in earlier periods, they are substituted with what? With surveillance and rehabilitation. If somebody crosses the red light, we are not going to beat up that person. What happens? Under surveillance, they are being fined a nominal amount and they are being told that you should not repeat this mistake, otherwise we'll be taking your license. So there's surveillance and rehabilitation and not harsh punishments or tortures. In this way, the society is being disciplined constantly in the form of controlling techniques or socialization. It helps in what? This technique or this socialization helps in making of the self. And if we know that by doing wrong we'll be punished, then we'll be better people. We'll know that the self that we are making has to be disciplined, has to follow orders. This is known as micropower, which constructs the self, which constructs the society. Let us discuss some questions. Question number 1. Which of these are the pillars of e-governance? So there are 4 pillars of e-governance, and which, or it is based on which, the foundation is people, process, technology and resources. It is only because of these 4 pillars that the e-governance can function effectively. Even if one is missing, it will not function properly. Question number 2 is an assertion and reason given. Assertion: e-governance is getting momentum in India, but public awareness and digital divide are important issues to be addressed. It is absolutely correct. Public awareness and digital divide are to be combated because they call for strict actions. Only then there will be more and more participation from the citizens. Reason: the success of e-governance measures largely depends on the availability of high-speed internet. Yes, nationwide rollout of 5G technology in the near future will strengthen our resolve. It is absolutely correct. Once there is a 5G network and high-speed internet and the infrastructure everywhere, only then more and more people can be benefited from e-governance. So the answer will be option number 1. Both are correct and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. I hope you got this lecture. Thank you for watching.